Look, the Chicago Bears, they just caught a huge break. Huge break for the Chicago Bears defense. Its latest injury news, and it's kind of an injury that kind of flew under the radar. I'm here to bring it to light. I think it's huger than anybody's really talking about. And also in this video, I want to talk about some good coaching news. It's not just about Green Bay week, even though it feels like it is. I love this week, but it's kind of showing how this coaching staff is going to be great for this team, not only right now, but in the future due to how they handled a specific player. Nobody's talking about that, but I want to talk about it here. Let's get to the good defensive news first. So the run defense, it should be back to near normal. And once again, this is way past the linebacker news. You guys have heard that, but this is about an injury that happened during the win over the Eagles. This is a projected practice, but it looks like defensive tackle Andrew Billings. He was put into the concussion protocol during the win over Philadelphia, but now the Bears have listed their 340-pound nose tackle is able to go through a full practice Wednesday if one had been held. No practice report yet today on Thursday as I'm filming this, but a player going through a full practice in any capacity with concussion protocol, he's most definitely gonna play. And as this weather's getting cold, we're talking more about Gervon Dexter typically. We're talking about Grady Jarrett typically as far as defensive tackle. But I think as the weather's getting cold, as these games get nasty, as these trenches get really contested, Andrew Billings at 340 pounds, he has been a bedrock piece of Bears run defense in the past, and I think he's going to factor in it in a major way. Really, really happy that he's available for this Green Bay game at Lambeau. And really, for this game, it's going to come down to how much they're able to pressure Jordan Love, how much they're able to hold his outside weapons, right? Christian Watson, he's been a huge target, but also Josh Jacobs. He's heated up over these last few games. And the Packers, they have some interior offensive line issues, and getting Billings back to pair with Grady Jarrett, to pair with Gervon Dexter, to get some push up the middle, this could make all the difference in this game. And kind of talking about Billings, he doesn't get a lot of pub because his stats, they don't really show up on every big chart, but he is needed. This hasn't been a great Bears run defense this year, and the Packers run game, once again, it's begun to heat up over the last 5 games after a slow start. And if it continues Sunday, they're going to be even harder to beat. I think Andrew Billings is absolutely essential for this run defense for this game. So glad, so underrated that he is going to be ready to go. And he's always kind of been underrated here. But without Billings last year, if you remember, totally different scheme, but let's look back at last year, how important he's been on this team. Last year, after he left is really when the defensive line, it really fell apart. The defense overall was ranked 27th. Without Billings, the rush defense for Chicago was 28th. And this drop in defense after Billings got hurt, it was one of the main reasons I think that this team went 10 losses in a row last year. And how he came here, he signed a 1-year contract with the Bears as a free agent in 23, and then he inked a 2-year extension that November. And just during his time in Chicago, he's had 51 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, 1 sack, started all 17 games in 23, and then he played in 8 games until he had that season-ending pec muscle injury in 2024. And this year, he's appeared in all 7 games, 4 starts, 11 tackles, and 1 tackle for a loss. But like I said, what he does for this team, it doesn't show up on the stat sheet. This guy is a run stuffer. It's a guy that's capable of taking on double teams as well and freeing up other players. And the Packers, they averaged only about 78 yards on the ground in their first 7 games, but now over the last 5, they've heated up and they've gone at about 125-yard pace. Just really good news, really good news. So with that Billings good news, let's get into this coaching nugget that I promised you. and so much has changed. There's one attribute of this coaching staff that's really unique, something I want to highlight. They go to great lengths to be adaptable. Adaptability in coaches. That's something that us as Chicago Bears fans have not seen in a really long time. Now we have coaches that don't just take a player and shove them in where they don't belong. It's getting the right player, understanding his weaknesses, actually being okay with his weaknesses, but it's your job as a coach to tailor the scheme and technique to match it. It's absolutely great. And these Bears coaches have done it with Drew Dahlman to the point that his weakness has become a strength. Prize free agent this year, right? The best center available by far, but he came with a flaw. The book on him has always been that his anchor and pass protection, it hasn't been great. Even if you looked at something as simple as his PFF ranking when he was brought on during the offseason, we did that here quite a bit, and everybody noticed that his pass pro level was not great. So what did the Bears do? Ben Johnson and Dan Rouchar, they've seen it in action. Over the first 5 games, he allowed 13 pass pressures. Not awesome. It wasn't fixed yet. But they started using something unique, something I hadn't really heard a lot about as far as it specifically being called this, but they're using something called the center fallback. The guys at Sports Mockery brought this to light. I want to give them credit. They are awesome there. But here's the thing. After making this blocking scheme adjustment, Drew Dahlman, he's only allowed 3 pressures in the 7 games since this adjustment was made. Now, granted, it can be credited to the line that they've gelled, that they've finally gotten comfortable with the scheme. But man, I think this has made a huge difference. And I think it's important that the coaching staff gets recognized for this. So what's the fallback? I mean, typically the center's stationary, but what the fallback does is that it allows a center to peel back after snapping the ball. He pivots, and then he looks to block an edge rusher who's heading for the quarterback. And this also, knowing your personnel, Dahlman, he has the athleticism, the speed, the awareness to actually pull this off. So now from a defensive standpoint, the launch point is completely different. You're able to truly have a moving pocket. The center no longer is stationary. So now this coaching staff, they've taken a weakness, his lack of anchor, right, particularly against bull rushes, and they've mixed in his strength. And the strength of this player is lateral quickness. It's his athleticism for a big guy. And now guess what? Pass blocking is Drew Dahlman's strength. The opposition can no longer get a completely clean rush look at the quarterback, and it's yet another instance of what this staff has done, what this front office has done. Grab Ben Johnson, the best guy available. We're going to make this work. Grab Drew Dahlman, the best guy available. Let's make this work. Joe Tooney ignored what people were saying in the draft. We're going to get Loveland. He's the best fit for our scheme. The Bears are no longer bargain shopping. They're getting the best pieces available. But with those pieces, these players are being coached properly. It's not like someone like Dahlman, a great run blocker, but suspect otherwise. And instead of being like, hey, we'll just coach him up, it's no. This is the player we're getting. And as a coach, I'm going to be creative. I'm going to scheme up a way to make his weakness a strength and hide the shortcoming. So now you're looking at his full potential being unlocked as an NFL center. Dahlman is playing at a Pro Bowl level once again this year. That's been good. He's playing his best ball of his entire career. And so much of it can be attributed to the way that these coaches are actually coaching and being creative and not being rigid, adjusting schematic things, adjusting to their approach to specific players to mask their weaknesses and to exploit their strengths. It's so good. And other teams can say, hey, that's just what coaching does. As Chicago Bears fans, this is refreshing, right? Bear down, you guys. Cannot wait for Green Bay weekend. My friend Jason from Sports Talk Wisconsin, Sports Talk Packers, he's going to be on here to break down this game on Saturday morning. Can't wait to do that. And yeah, you guys have been great. Continue to hit the subscribe button. Let's grow this. Bear down. Let's beat Green Bay. See ya.